I'm
Recording in progress. All right, right on time. I like it. Okay, so today we hold the seance to try to connect to Cammie's sister, Shelly, and her mother. Both
Wilma.
are deceased. So is Shelly a little bit taller than you? Because I see somebody immediately come forward and like almost like well, I'm 5'1", so everybody's taller to me. Um,
A little bit. I mean, I'm 5'2", but she was always
like
a
five
little bit,
5'3", right?
yeah, just not very much taller than me, but taller than me.
She feels taller to me because I'm a midget. um, but yeah, so she immediately stepped forward. She's like, "I'm here. I'm here."
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, yeah. So what's interesting is was Shelly like some type of like healer or just like nurturer, took care of people like in her everyday life?
She did before she got in a really bad relationship.
Yeah,
So yeah,
yeah.
that was who she was as a person before.
Hmm. Did she like animals? She's showing me a lot of cats. I don't know if that was like a
Cats, yes.
she's showing me a lot of cats. Cats, 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 cats. I don't know why we need to have cats around, but she's got cats.
Yes, she loves animals.
Yeah. So what's interesting, and I say because I asked because she's a nurturer. Like, was she a nurturer? Was she like in healthcare or something like that? Like hands on, but just
Mm-mm.
like mostly just trying to take care of people, like extremely caring
Yep.
is the vibe I'm getting from her. So she, interestingly enough, and I've never had this happen before. She presents to me, so people who specialize in crossing over or helping others cross over, they present to me in a black suit. She came forward like, I'm here in the black suit. Like she goes in and she helps people, and spirit can choose to do that. She helps people cross over. Like that is a way she is like helping on the other side right
Oh
now.
wow. Wow.
Um, so she's not only like waiting for her family, she's also helping other people. Like she is showing me like in hospitals, watching like people be sick. Like she is just trying to take care of others. She's mentioning like
Mm,
did she have like some type of regrets or something? 'Cause she's like, I'm trying to take care of others where I failed. And it's almost like she can't quite touch you guys just yet, but she's trying to mirror that caretaking. We keep talking about caretaking and helping other people in like a gentle way.
yeah. She was very caring, and she got in this bad relationship, and he wouldn't let her be around my mom, and not very much, and she has so much regret that I think that that's what caused her to pass away.
Did she have a heart attack? She's showing me heart, something with the heart. Like it's almost like she went to sleep and just boom.
Yeah, that's what they say. That's what we've I've been told four different stories, so but that is what um
But did you have an autopsy done? Because she's just
no,
like, yeah,
no.
because she's showing like it's almost like if she were to have one, it was like the results would have been like inconclusive. Like I don't think you would have found one answer. Feels like multiple things, but ultimately what did her in was her heart stopped.
Yeah. She was having a really hard time breathing, and um congestive heart failure, but it came on so fast.
She'd have CHF because she's writing CHF.
Yes.
CHF specifically, congestive heart failure.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Yeah. I but I've been worried that it was because of the bad relationship that she was in and how suddenly she went. I was worried that something else had happened to her.
Yeah, well, I'm hearing like very closely, like there were signs and symptoms that she had CHF. I don't know if she went to the doctor for this, or it's almost like
She did.
there's like a wheezing, like a fluid. Like I feel pressure on my
Yeah.
chest of like
Yeah.
it's like I have pneumonia, but Did she need oxygen or was she
She had to wear oxygen right at the end, only for like she had oxygen for 5 days.
Yeah, because I can hear the oxygen tank, like almost like I'm sitting down behind me and I can hear the oxygen tank. Like
Yeah.
she had it with her for a little
Yeah. Very, yeah. Whenever I talked to her like 6 days before she passed, she didn't have oxygen and she was really hard for her to even talk to me because she was so out of breath.
bit. Yeah. Yeah. She's saying she's kind of like talking about like not fully listening. Like she didn't fully like listen to the doctors for a little bit. She didn't fully want to take their advice. Like she was just like a little stubborn about
Mhm.
it. It's almost like this took her really fast upon like she knew she had it, but it's accepting the seriousness of it. And then she was gone. Like when she was like, oh shit, I really need to take care of myself. It was almost like it was like too little, too late.
Yep. That's what we feel like is that's because it was so fast that she told me on the phone on Sunday that she had had it for a while
Yeah.
and was hiding it.
Yeah. She didn't want to tell anybody. I feel like she didn't want anybody to worry over her. And
Mm,
also she's like mentioning the boyfriend, like wouldn't really let you guys around her. Like she was
not
kept
at all.
like she shows me like she's like pushed to the back where you guys might be concerned. He's like, oh no, 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 she's fine, and she's pushed to the back, to the back. Does that make
All the
sense?
yeah, yeah, completely. I mean, that's yeah. We were so close
Yeah.
until he came into the picture.
Yeah, she's showing me you guys almost like twins, or she's saying the word twins.
We were called twins when we were little, even though we were 4 years apart.
Yeah, but you guys had like a deep connection like you were. I think so. They're talking about like a past life. I think you were in some type of past life with her because
Wow.
wherever she went, you went. If you were sick, she was sick. Like it was very together.
Yeah, I, I'm in awe.
Yeah,
I always expected that the boyfriend would pass and I would get her back.
I'm so sorry, honey. I'm so sorry. She's talking about just kind of being trapped with him and like he kind of just it's weird because she seems so independent and nurturing now. And it's almost like she almost kind of like had to die to step away and like see how bad it was because she's talking about it taking over like it being him, like her whole personality, her whole life. Like she almost became lost. And I don't know if you guys suspected any verbal abuse, but I hear a male energy coming in and like screaming at her and
All
yelling
the time.
at her and mentioning that she's like worthless and just saying these just really hateful things repeated, repeated, repeated. And she's coming in and saying, I won't make that mistake again. Like she learned from that. But again, it's almost like she learned a little bit too late.
Hey, yeah. I would always ask her, and she'd always, "No, I'm happy. I love him. I just want to be with him all of the time." And it's like, that's not happy.
Yeah.
That's not healthy. Yeah, I couldn't even talk. It was up to him if I got to talk to her on the telephone.
Yeah. Um, she always loved you. Like you guys didn't do anything to her to push her away. I think I get the feeling like she just generally thought this was normal behavior. Like he had convinced her. Like she just feels enraptured by this guy. Like were they like married or like say that they were married?
They got married about maybe they've been together about 15 years, 16
Yeah,
years, but they just got married like maybe 5 years ago.
yeah. 'Cause she's like showing me a ring, like it's new, like it's
Hmm.
like new and sparkly, like new, but he felt like he was just in her space for a while. And she's talking about like that's like was this like kind of like one of her first serious committed people that she was with? Because she's talking about saying like this is all that she ever knew. Like that's why she thought this type of
She
behavior
had,
from him was normal.
she was, she was with him whenever she was really young, like
Mhm,
16 or so.
mhm.
And then, I don't know what happened, but they split and went on. And then she got married, and she was married for like 23 years. And then he came back around, and she left her marriage and went with him because he was her first love.
Yeah, she's specifically talking about like she wasn't really happy in her first marriage.
Mm, mm, mm.
Um, like she kind of like settled a little bit is what it feels like. And she thought this guy that came around. So I feel like she was in love with the idea of this first love, right? Not reality. Was he a drinker? Because I'm smelling like alcohol. Like I don't know if he was a drinker in private
Yeah,
or
I don't know.
um
I know he smoked a lot of pot,
yeah.
but
Some
I don't know about drinking because he was so against. That's what he said, anyways, that he was so against drinking.
I think it was a little bit of both. They're also
Mm,
talking about like he had some type of mental illness and the pot kind of like calms it down a little bit, but they're also saying it's like undiagnosed. Like he would never admit it if he had it.
mhm.
But mostly she talks about him being like super controlling. But again, she's completely in love with the idea of this guy, and she couldn't see reality of who he really was. She paid attention to what he said. She never really paid attention to what he did. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, yeah, yep. It does make sense.
I don't know if there was like any allegations of like him being unfaithful or cheating, but that word
Mhm.
is kind of like coming up a little bit like he like
Oh
there's and I mean maybe that's because she left her husband and that
yeah.
breakaway
Well,
is kind of seen that way a little bit.
I think that he wouldn't. What I always thought is that he wouldn't let her out of his sight because he thought that she would cheat on him.
Mm, mm, okay. And now she's doing a lot of writing. She's like not really speaking because I think this is a little shameful for her, but almost like paranoid. Like he was paranoid that if she left and got to you, she would leave and go away.
Yep.
Because you weren't physically allowed to see her, right?
Right.
Like if you would have showed up, he would have just blocked you from being able, like, to coming into the apartment or whatever, wherever she lived.
Yep. Yep. He told me I wasn't to come there. And then after she's passed, he said that the reason I guess that the reason why is because he had her convinced because I have a nice house that I would look down on her because she didn't have a nice house. So that's why he wouldn't let me come there because I would look down on her and make her feel bad about herself.
Okay, I see what she's saying now. It's almost like he used your success as a weapon because she was kind of less, not to say like she was.
She never did any. She never even had a job. She was an amazing mother. Stay at home, took care of my kids while I was working.
Mhm, yeah. 'Cause I was trying to find the right way to word that. She wasn't poor, but she didn't do like you did. Like you got an education. You work in healthcare, right? You work in
Hmm.
yeah. So that was seen as success. But she didn't
Hmm.
have that.
Right.
Um, and I'm sorry that he did that to her.
Yeah.
That's not okay. But I feel like she is learning from what happened to him or with him, between him and
Hmm.
she is learning on the other side, and I think she is trying to just nurture other souls and like bring them in. And what's interesting is she's talking about like her success is being a part of other people's spiritual team and like guiding them to do and not make those mistakes. Woo.
Oh,
And that's very interesting because I have not met a soul, a spirit that like wants to do that, is capable of. She's the first person.
wow.
Um, so I think she's trying to take care of what she couldn't take care of here with other people, with other people. Your kids are grown now, right? Because she's talking about like the grown kids. And do you have like two boys and a girl, or a girl and a boy, or
I have two boys and a girl.
okay,
And she has two boys and a girl.
okay. Because she's talking about visiting the two boys and the girl. And she pops in on everybody. She sits on somebody's bed. I don't know if somebody still has like a teddy bear that sits on their bed.
I had a teddy bear made just the other day with her voice message the last voice message that she left me. I had it put in the teddy bear.
She sits on that bed, and like whenever you're sleeping, she's like, it's like she sits down on the edge. It's kind of like she doesn't want to she doesn't want to scare anybody. She doesn't want to freak anybody out. But she does sit there because it's almost like she watches you lay down and you're like pushing the button to hear her voice. And that's what it feels like. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. She's around you guys. She's I would dare say she's around you a little bit more than your mom. So whenever spirit passes, like they don't really understand time. And some people take a little bit longer because whenever you pass, you meet your spiritual team and you're like, okay, let's take stock of what I did in life, my mistakes, my goals, my ups, my downs, all of that, right? And we have to own our mistakes whenever we pass away and decide like, are we going to repeat this or are we not? And I think your sister just kind of like was like, no, I'm not. She keeps going, I'm done, I'm done, I'm done, kind of like this. So like if she chooses to reincarnate again, which she very well could, um, oh, she's stopping me. She said she was coming with you. Yeah, we twins again. Sorry. Very direct here. My bad. I'm sorry.
Oh,
Um, so she's waiting for you, but she's busy on the other side because she's talking about completing the work that she never got to finish. Um, yeah. Yeah.
wow.
So that's kind of like her goal. She's waiting for you and she's saying, take your time.
Yes.
She's talking about the grandbabies. Do you have grandbabies or future grandbabies
I
maybe?
have grandbabies,
She's saying, we
and
gotta
so does she.
we gotta watch and wait for the grandbabies to grow up. She just said grandbabies. It's weird because it's almost like whenever she talks about the kids, she refers to everybody in a group. Like your kids are her kids.
Mhm.
Does that make sense? Because
Yes.
I didn't even send her kids. I'm like, it's her kids. And she's like, no, all the kids are our kids.
Yep.
Does that make
Yep.
sense?
Yep. Yep. She always watched them. They were like, that was like their, even though it was their aunt, it was their second mom.
Yeah.
And now it's like I'm trying to be that for her kids.
She's talking about you're doing a good job. So keep she approves.
That's good. I'm glad.
Yeah, yeah. You're doing a good job. Did somebody just recently have a birthday? They're talking about a birthday. Birthday, or a birthday coming up. Something about a birthday. I don't know if it was recent or it just passed, but she was there at the last birthday. Whoever the last birthday was in the family, she
Oh
was
well,
there.
I'm just wondering because we were all together. Her kids, two of her two sons, and all of us, together for yesterday. But that wasn't a birthday. I
Whoever
don't
the
know
last
if a
birthday
birthday.
was in
Yeah,
the
because there hasn't been a birthday since she passed.
she was there at the last birthday. Last
Oh,
birthday, last birthday, last birthday. Was it very quickly after she passed?
She passed. I don't think so. Now I'm going to have to ask my niece because maybe, I don't know. It's like everything's been such a blur that I don't know if one of her grandkids maybe had a birthday. Maybe. I don't know. There's, she's got a lot of grandkids.
Yeah, no, I understand. She's showing me like 3, 6, 3, like keeps throwing numbers up, and I'm like, how many fucking like how many fat ladies at 6? Is it 3? I don't
And
know.
and those were all so close to her, and she couldn't even be around any of them. He wouldn't let her be around anyone except him.
I'm so sorry. That's so frustrating. That's so frustrating. Is the youngest a little girl? Like her youngest grandkid?
Hmm.
Youngest grandkid? She's showing me like a little girl that has like a stuffed animal kind of like running all around or whatever. And I think she visits the youngest. Did she miss any of her grandkids' births? Like, was she not able to attend?
Oh yes, yeah. She was not able to be. I mean, she hasn't been able to be around any.
Because
She
not
can't go anything.
she's stopping me saying it's not because she was sick, it was because he wouldn't let her, right?
Right,
She was
right.
in good health.
She was in good health until this happened, and
Yeah.
it's weird because all of this I feel happened after my mom passed, and she was living with all the guilt because she would get my mom's hopes up for things, and I know that it was because he wouldn't let her come,
Yeah.
and she had to live with that.
Yeah. She's talking about like she unfortunately passed away of like a broken heart, like just the stress.
That's what I said.
Yeah, the stress. I know scientifically it was the CHF.
Right.
Stress.
Yeah,
I,
but you can make yourself sick
yeah, 'cause
from
she
stress.
like this, like this, like this.
Wow. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Yeah. If you can, she wants to pass along a message to her kids if you can, if you feel comfortable. If you don't, then you can just show them this recording if that's going to be a lot. She's talking about being sorry for missing like major events. Like I don't think the birth was the first major event that she missed, right?
Oh
Uh,
yeah, that was
she's
a
talking
lot.
about a wedding. Did she miss a wedding? Or it's almost like she found out later, like it's
No, she did go to her daughter. She did get to go to her daughter's wedding.
she's talking about just missing
She
big
missed. Hmm.
events like graduations, births,
Hmm.
holidays,
Yep.
things that people gather for a lot. And
And she was like that. She loved those kinds of things.
she showed me the number 5. Like the last 5 were the hardest that she missed. I don't know what was significant about
Mm.
the last 5 big events right before she passed, but she's specifically talking about the last
Mm.
5 and talking about how sorry she is.
Wow.
Um, is anybody close to her named Mike? Sarah? She's giving me like very specific names. I don't know if that's
My Her daughter's husband's name is Mike.
okay. Okay. She's trying to say I'm sorry. I don't like maybe to get that message to the daughter, Mike. Because I don't know if truthfully she'd be able to handle a message from her mom. So maybe that's why she's suggesting to give it to Mike.
Oh,
Um,
maybe.
she's talking about wanting to be a better mother. We've got 10 more minutes.
Okay.
It was almost like she felt like she couldn't be a good mom. Like Does that make sense?
Hmm.
She's
Yeah,
a really good
because she, yeah.
little kid mom, not the best adult mom. Whenever moms kind of transition and to this like supportive role for, whenever your kids start growing up, they have kids, they need support, they need the village. And she wanted to be the village, but she got that. It's almost like they talk about like that getting ripped from her, like
Hmm.
ripped.
Yep.
Um, she's talking about like the abuse wasn't always like verbal or physical. It had layers. It was a lot of like manipulation. And I don't know if this is true or not. Like if the kids know, like he would talk about, oh, your kids don't like you, and like just different things. So I guess that happened.
Well, no, me and her daughter were just talking about that. We think that that's what he was doing to her, was convincing her that none of us wanted to be around her. That
Yeah. Yeah. He is over there truly making her feel some type of way. And she talks about like he truly kind of made her feel worthless, but also that he was love.
mhm, that
It's a,
makes sense.
it's a weird, like, you're not worth anything, but I'm the only person that loves you for you because I think you're beautiful, but like no one else does. Does
I
that
can
make
see him
sense?
be. I can see him being like that.
It's
It's
weird.
a it's a way to. I think feel like it's a way more to control.
Yeah. Yeah. And she's kind of like talking about the first husband a little bit and showing me like a wedding band, like a gold wedding band. I don't know if she had like a more simpler life with him or a more just peaceful time with him. Like he just wasn't, he was like the opposite.
Hmm.
But there was no lust.
That makes so much sense.
Marriage, there was no lust.
Yeah, makes so much sense.
And she like that's kind of what she needed.
Hmm.
Sorry, I don't mean to like.
No, but it does make sense.
She needed that lust, that rush. He made her feel wanted, made her feel admired, and then that turned sour pretty quickly.
Hmm.
Does that make sense?
Wow, total.
Yeah.
This is crazy. Oh, wow. Yeah, it didn't take very long for the controlling to start.
And I mean, she's also telling me the word fear. Like she goes in. So this is interesting. I don't know if you talked to him or not, but she's specifically mentioning that she goes in, she does visit him, but she'll like pull things off the shelf. Like things fall around him. She's specifically going like, boop, books on the floor. Boop, this on the floor. Oh, you need this? It's like it just shit just disappears. He doesn't know what like where he's going. I feel like if you were to pop in on him now, he would sound confused.
Wow. Well, he's been really like different to like her son. I don't talk to him.
Mm,
I won't talk to him because he's been always so mean to me. I mean,
yeah, yeah,
but my dad and my nephew talk to him a little bit.
yeah. What did they say about him?
Well, my AJ has said, that's her middle son,
Mm,
has said that yesterday he told me, he goes, yeah, Kimmy, it's really weird because he's like the nicest he's ever been to me. Like, he goes, it's almost like now he knows that mom's not there to stop me from taking, taking care of him. Like, you know,
yeah, yeah.
yeah. And so he's like trying to be,
On his best behavior. Well, that, and I hear very clearly that she kind of like haunts him a little bit.
oh, oh, I like that idea. That
Very like,
that's my sister.
She seems like kind of sneaky. Like she was very docile in her life, but if she could get her get back, she was going to get her get back. And I think this avenue in which she chooses to help spirit cross over, that kind of keeps her a little bit anchored here more than normal
Mm,
because she's
yeah.
not just going to visit you guys. I see her visiting other people, like lots,
Wow.
like I'm telling you, she's like in a hospital in watching people pass away from hospice. You're a nurse, so do you deal with that too? Because she's also like if you're over a dying patient, she's watching and
I
she's
used to, but I'm not no more. Now I don't do that part that, but I did, but that's been a while ago now. I work from home and take care of patients.
yeah, yeah. She's like she's showing me like the nurses because I work in healthcare as well. Like I have a background in
Oh.
that. So I kind of understand what she's showing me. Like people dying on hospice and
Mm-hmm.
she's watching and she's waiting and she's going in and out
Oh.
of the room. She's showing me a nursing home. She's showing me like going into people's houses and she's just kind of she's busy. This lady feels busy. I don't know if she liked to be busy in her everyday life.
I, if anything, I think it's because she was so controlled and couldn't do anything.
So she
But
wants
now she wants to.
mhm.
He wouldn't even let her see her best friends from high school. I mean, she couldn't see anyone.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, she's making up for lost time. Like she is
Good,
definitely
good.
she is busy, busy, busy. Um, but she does talk a lot about like her kids wanting to apologize for the kids, wanting to be there. Did they see or witness like abuse? They were together for she's kind of apologizing because she's talking about needing to get out, wanting to get out. But it's almost like I feel like she has no access to a car, no
Oh,
access to money, no access to nothing. Like if she wanted to go somewhere, she had to ask him for a ride. Like we were
yeah.
that locked down.
Hmm. Yep. He even her kids gave her a car, and he took it.
Wow. I don't know what it is, but she's talking about the police. I don't know if anybody ever threatened to call the police on this guy. But she was like, I was afraid to get the police involved. I don't know if there was something else happening here, but there was like this fear of the police. I don't know if anybody ever threatened to like, hey, this is bad for you. I'm gonna take you out, even if I have to call the police to come get you out.
And that would have been her son, possibly.
Yeah, I don't know how bad that situation
Oh,
got, but she's talking
oh,
about
I
fear of the
bet.
police.
I bet it was because her husband filed a restraining order on her son, and would so that because he was the only one that would come around and made it to where he could come around.
Okay, because she was talking about she didn't want to get somebody arrested or put in jail.
Mm-hmm.
And she's now saying, like, if he was arrested, that'd be like another thing that he would hang over me. Oh, you got your kid arrested.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
It's gonna switch to our next meeting,
Okay.
okay? In less than 1 minute.
Okay.
But yeah, do you have any questions so far? I know we're talking a lot about your sister. She's coming in the loudest, quite
Yeah.
honestly. Your mom
Yeah.
kind of sits in the corner and she just seems like kind of at peace. But was she like sick or in a wheelchair? They're showing me a wheelchair, like she was meant to like sit down.
Mm-hmm. But at the end, I had to push her around in a wheelchair to go to appointments and everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And she's also talking about like, was she like a little confused or having some memory issues?
Confusion. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's talking about being confused. She's also talking about like seeing things clearly now.